Most agents don't actually have a lead problem. They have a control problem. And that is exactly why income feels so unpredictable even though you have a steady flow of leads coming in. Let me explain. On paper, a lot of you agents are doing the right things. You're generating leads, you're running ads, you're making calls, you're trying out different platforms, you're using your CRM. But despite all of that, results still seem to swing month to month. Just because you have lead flow does not also mean that it's, good lead flow or even predictable lead flow. I would argue that good lead flow does not necessarily mean that, one of two, every single two leads closes, because one of those every two leads could only be, you could only be getting two a month, right? I would argue it is basically the system that's ultimately getting you the most deals and the most return on your investment. It's not just, I got 10 leads and 5 closed. What if it was I got 5,000 leads and 1,000 closed, right? Which those are some numbers that we've seen with some of our partnering agents across the United States that run some of these huge teams and big brokerages. It's not going to be necessarily just about the quality of the lead, but ultimately ROI and total deals closed as well. And this is the system that we've just seen work best. Trying so many different things, hiring door knockers, cold calling teams, expireds, FSBOs, mailers, the whole 9 yards. This is the number one thing that we have seen working for our partnering agents across all of our data. So number one is going to be having a consistent lead generation source. Now, some people get this from ads, some people get this from cold calling, some people get this from their website. The number one thing you want to make sure with your leads is that they are consistent. I would argue 9 times out of 10, consistency is more important than quality, because kind of like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it doesn't matter if the quality of your leads is higher and it's inconsistent, because now you have absolutely zero control over your business. Great, my leads are high quality, but I have zero control over my business and, the numbers we're going to hit this month, right? Or the rate that we're going to grow. And so number one thing is get a consistent lead generation method, okay? So if month over month you can control the amount of leads that you're generating from your source, great. Keep that lead generation source. For us, we use meta ads. It is by far, from everything that we have tried, the easiest to actually predict and consistently do month over month, just because the sheer amount of data they give you. So let me actually show you what I mean by this. When you run a real estate advertisement on meta ads, first things first, what we do is we want to run specific ads. So the one thing that a lot of agents do is they've tried ads before on social media, or they've used another company. They just had no idea what they were doing. Any real estate agent or business owner that has a bad outlook on ads, they just don't know marketing. They just don't know how to run ads, because they work. People spend hundreds of millions of some industries, billions of dollars on advertisements on social media, and it's not because it doesn't work, right? You most likely just had a bad experience, or the company you were working with just didn't know what they were doing, or you didn't know what you were doing at the time. And so the number one thing that we actually focus on is running specific ads. We don't just do some organic thing, because then you start to get people that aren't actually interested in real estate. You get a lot of low quality tire kickers and things along those lines. And so basically what we want to do is we want to go after a specific person. So we have homes for sale at a price point. That's a specific person. We're going to get rid of anybody that is looking way too outside of that price point. Ideally, we want to get rid of those people that are looking really, really below that price point, because those are going to be people that most likely can't do anything anyway. One level homes, we're targeting specifically downsizers. Reason is, this is a very good lead. Most of the time they have a property that they need to sell. They've already been through the process. It's going to be very easy for them to get approved. New construction. A lot of markets have really, really good new construction opportunity, and a lot of agents want to experiment with that, especially because you basically just sign a contract and you can end up getting paid. It's a super simple, easy, frictionless process, and some agents want to go after that, right? And so we want to run very specific ads to get specific people. You don't just want to do list of homes in area without any price point or without any disqualification criteria, because you're going to get people looking for so many different things. I mean, you could get, someone that is looking for a $50,000 home. As real estate agents, I know you guys have heard everything, right? People looking for stuff that literally is impossible, not in any market in the US. And you're wondering, how did I get this person? And it's usually because of a funnel that you have in place that just didn't disqualify people properly. And so getting specific leads, but then also consistent and predictably, we are able to basically gauge how many leads we can get on a monthly basis with our investment into meta ads. So here, over the course of 147 leads, our average cost per lead was about $2.41. So we know that if we spend $250 a month, we're going to get about 150 leads every single month. That's amazing because that is predictable. Okay, I'm going to spend $250, get 150 leads. Now, ideally, what we want to do is we want to get, in real estate, you're looking to get about a 5x ROI. So, and this kind of hits on what I mentioned at the beginning of the video. It's not necessarily about, having 50 of these leads closed. That's so unrealistic. Like, that'd be an unlimited money glitch, right? We have to, understand the process and how this actually works, right? So from these 147 leads, what we want to do is we want to narrow this down to the most probable group of people that could potentially buy within the next 3 to 6 months. And so the biggest thing that agents get messed up here is they'll call their own ad leads. Then they get burnt out, and that's when they say meta ads don't work, because the conversations that they have just, aren't going anywhere, because it is not worth your time to be calling these leads, okay? So what we recommend is right here. So we actually recommend, from these leads, you have a step 2 in place in your funnel, which is actually calling all of these leads, not you, but having an assistant or an ISA call all of these leads on your behalf and just live transfer you or book an appointment for the ones that are worth your time, okay? So from those 147 leads from this campaign, we were able to initiate 23 live transfers. Now, all of our live transfers with our company, which, by the way, if you want anything from this video implemented in your business, there will be a link in the description or somewhere on our channel to book a call with me or someone from my team. We also have the link to the CRM that we use. You get all of our real estate snapshots. The CRM has a free trial, so you can try it out. If you don't like it, you can cancel it. Book that call with us. We'll just run you over everything for completely free. If you like it, great. We'll see what it would look like to move forward with you. If not, no worries. But basically, how we do our live transfers is we're going to qualify every single lead on lead type, motivation, location, price point, time frame, financials, important property features, making sure they're not already working with another professional in your market, and then also any extra notes that would possibly help you, turn this lead into a client. And the amazing thing with these leads is a lot of the time, 99% of the time, you're talking to strangers. So you are building your sphere of influence and your referral base from this as well. You're not just investing in one deal, you're investing in multiple deals and ultimately relationships that can lead to more deals down the line from those people as well. That's why this is so powerful with how many opportunities you can get for so cheap. Like, if you are the type of agent to complain about spending hundreds of dollars a month on advertisement, then that's something that you have to check back in yourself, right? You have to understand that investing in advertisement for your business is how you're going to grow. You can't just be doing all the calls yourself all the time. You can't be cold calling the rest of your life, or just running off brokerage leads for the rest of your life, or just referrals. You're never going to grow. You're going to get burnt out, and you're going to wonder why every single paycheck every month is different and you're not growing on a predictable path. And I say this just because at our company, we are so passionate about helping agents implement predictable systems, because once you actually know how to do it right and you're led down the proper path, it is so much easier, and it's just ultimately so much better for the business and ultimately you and your families as well at the end of the day. So we want to make sure that none of our partnering agents are speaking to anyone that have not been through this call process. If they're a good lead, they meet all the criteria, then we will call you with the lead on the other line, and then I'll go into a 3-way call. On that call, just set an appointment with that lead. Really, we want to be looking at about a 50% set rate and a 50% close rate. Those are our standards here. Now here you can just see, Jared was just talking about deal under contract, just making money. You can see plenty of that on our website because our process does actually work. It's just undeniable at this point. And then step 3 is just going to be having a killer backend system in place, a CRM essentially, where you can, track all of your data, your lead leads, your outbound calls, your cost per leads, your dial to new lead ratios, your lead to live transfer ratios, lead to close ratios, speed to lead times. It's insane the amount of times I hop on, calls with real estate agents, which, are supposed to be business owners, and they have none of this data. They have no data on like how much a lead costs for their business, or their speed to lead time, or their lead to closing ratio. If you're not tracking data, you have no idea where the problems or the good things are within your business. And so we track all of this for all of our partnering agents. Data is huge. So if you're not tracking your data, that alone is worth it. So put a data tracking system in place. Make sure you have a killer CRM with follow-up automations and stuff. And really, this is our team stack. This is the team that we recommend every single real estate agent have. A media buyer to manage all of the ads. If you know how to do ads and you're actually really, really good at it, which, by the way, like if you're actually good at it, you don't just think you're good at it, then that is something you can do yourself. It might take like an hour a week to check in on ads, make sure they're doing well. ISA, you got to have that. You got to stop making calls yourself. It is such a waste of time. Unless it is like a referral from a friend or something, do not be making calls yourself. Have an ISA make the calls and then just give you the good ones. CRM specialist, again, you might be able to do this, but some projects can get very time consuming, and honestly, I would highly recommend just outsourcing it to someone on Fiverr or getting your own CRM specialist on board. What we do for a lot of our projects is we just have someone on like Fiverr or Upwork that we just have a deal with, and we're like, hey, for any project, we're going to go to you. We don't have them hired as a full-time person, but we just go to them with any single project that we need that we can't do ourselves. And they are CRM wizards. I mean, they can set up, crazy follow-up stuff and, just a ton of different stuff. And then a success manager, this would be like a coach. So we personally help our real estate agents with, coaching calls and just being there for them and telling them what's working. I would recommend just, hiring a coach, hiring someone that has seen success with the system that, you're trying to do, and go from there. But that is essentially kind of everything A to Z that we actually implement for all of our partnering agents. And honestly, just so many good things to say that, it's just undeniable. And if you go on the website and actually listen to the videos, I mean, this is just life-changing stuff at the end of the day. And so, again, if you want us to just come into your business and implement all of this for you within about 3 to 5 days, we can do so. There will be a link down in the description to hop on a call with us, and we'll see if it makes sense. If not, no worries. If you're not worried about that, then, no worries at all. Then, just keep consuming the free videos, and, hopefully the free content is able to help your business grow for completely free. That'll be a win for us because our mission is helping agents implement predictable systems. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. Send to a friend if it was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video next week. Thanks.